All right, my friends, Reincarnated Aristocrat EP2. I think we found our mage. Well, I know we found our mage. It's factual S rank mage. Yeah, put her in the lineup. Okay, here's the thing. I think episode 2 was a good episode. I think it was just a complete setup episode. When I see episodes like this, honestly, 100%, I really just think like they need to cut out some of the fluff. Like, I think I'm completely okay with Ars and the other guy's name. Oh my god, did I forget his name already? Ars and his confidant, Ars and his person guy, whatever. I'm completely okay with Ars going in and them having a moment inside of like the square, inside of a new capital, like stuff like that. Like, I'm completely okay. Ritz, his name's Ritz. God damn it. So I'm completely okay with Ars and Ritz going to a new place, going to a new capital and spending time, and them kind of showing us like a little like cutscene of like them, you know, eating this and eating that. But they did it twice, right? So they go and they go to the capital and they show Ars being fascinated by everything, and they show him, you know, trying to appraise and trying to, Jesus Christ, trying to appraise and find a bunch of like, you know, different people, different like talented people and stuff. And I think like that's completely okay. So they cut to that, and then they have another moment, and then they go and they have like there's like an in-between moment. And then they do that again. So he fails to find anybody. And then they do it again to where they montage him again. He does this time they go to eat and whatever. And then this is where the girl, the blue hair girl, comes in. And she comes in and steals his coin purse or whatever. And then that leads on to the next thing of them finding, you know, the coin purse stuff. So I really think if they kept it down to one montage, and then they actually showed us like, okay, her name's Charlotte. So at the end of the episode, the kids come, they're like, oh, Charlotte, you know, Charlotte sama, you know, they took Charlotte. I think if they showed us what's going to happen at the beginning of next episode, this episode, and then they end with maybe like, you know, I don't know, a knife at her throat or something like that. I think if they have showed us kind of like where she's at, and Ars and Ritz kind of going to go save her, because that's what's going to happen. I think if they ended with them getting there and finding her, and maybe her in like a dire situation, and then cut to black, that would have been a much better episode. But because this was mostly set up, and because we got 2 montages of Ars inside of the Capitol, I just think that this episode was mostly just set up for Charlotte's storyline to come next episode. And maybe next episode we get, I don't know, you know, that Ars and Ritz saving her, and then something happens, and maybe that's the moment that she decides to swear allegiance to Ars. Maybe she gets saved. Maybe he pays off these slave people. I think they're slave traders. Maybe he buys her as a slave. Like, there's a lot of different avenues next episode could go that land Charlotte into his care. How she gets in his care, that remains to be seen. But there's a few different angles that they can work to get Charlotte into his care. But I think at least leading us up into them finding Charlotte and then cutting to black there, I think would have made this episode much better. But because we didn't get that, all we got was pure setup. So we see Ars studying with Ritz. We get to learn more of the lay of the land. I think that's good. We get to see that Ars's father approves of Ars. That's good. He's like, hey, go find me a killer-ass mage. He's like, I got you, papa. And he goes and he does it. But then that's kind of where the in-between breaks up. I like the scene with Ritz threatening the guy who was trying to get one over on Ars, you know, the dragon guy. He's like, yo, like, he almost killed that dude. Ars is like, I need to get better at being perception, and I need to get better at perceiving people, because like if I don't, my boy gonna be killing people left and right every time they hoodwink me. So I like that. Okay. And then I like that we met Charlotte. I like that she's very confident too. She's like, yo, aren't I pretty? I'm like, yo, girl, you're all like, she has a bunch of gunk on her. She's like, clothes are tattered. Like, I mean, I guess she looked pretty. She definitely stands out from the rest of them. I was like, yo, her overconfidence, if let's say she was a 9 or an 8 because she's dirty, that takes her down to like a 5. Just that overconfidence, too much. And I like how Ars and Ritz reacted to that too. But I just think like this episode was okay. It was pretty good, but it was mostly set up. I think next episode is going to be a lot better. And the reason I talk about Charlotte is she's in the OP. She was in when episode 1 started with his father's death. They showed Arts, they showed Ritz, and they showed other people too that he ends up recruiting. So there's not really a mystery there. It's just, okay, how are we going to get her into our side? So anyways, overall, good. Could have been a better episode if I was the director. I would have ended kind of like I said with, like get us to that point of what you build up and then cut us off and then let's continue next episode. I think that would have been a much better outcome. And I would be praising this show or this specific episode of this show a little bit more. But so far, I just have to meet you in the middle and say this was a 7 out of 10, mostly a setup episode. Still decent, still enjoyable, still pretty good. Because, it did show like the bad side of wealth. It showed the poor people and, it showed Ars. It opened up his eyes enough. But I think because, they gave us those 2 montages, cut it down to 1, get us more concise. And I think that would have been better. But hey, what do I know? I'm not, I'm just some dude on anime YouTube over here reviewing stuff. I'm not the director, producer, or anything like that. So, anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in das Comments below. And I will see you guys next week, my friends. All right, peace out.